Welcome to my brand new podcast. You're listening to the things nobody tells you about with Marthy Cherubin. This podcast is about the unspoken things in pregnancy, labor, and postnatal that nobody tells prospective mothers, parents, and or childbearing age women about. And today's episode, we are going to talk about me and why I decided to start this podcast. I decided to start this podcast because of my own personal experiences. In 2018, my husband and we decided to have our first child together. According to our family members, it was about time because we waited as long as we could before we decided to have a child. So they were super happy once we told them the news. As my pregnancy progresses, I started to realize that I don't know as much as I thought I did about pregnancy, which was a bit surprising to me because I grew up in a family full of women. I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I have a lot of friends with children. I used to work with children. So I was a bit surprised because how come nobody told me about this? So I started to talk to some women that I know and some women that I worked with. And I realized that they too had similar questions. And I'm thinking, why is this happening? Why are most women not prepared for pregnancy? So, after some investigation, I think that one of the reasons why many women are not prepared for pregnancy, labor, postnatal, or even motherhood is because other women who've had children don't want to scare them by telling them the truth, which ironically doesn't help when it would have been so much better if they told us. Another reason that I have also found is that people forget. A lot of mothers just forgot about it. Or sometimes it's because they've had such a terrible experience that they want to forget about it. So that's why they don't tell us. Now, I can relate to this one because one of the things that I realized throughout my pregnancy is that Mother Nature does two things to women when they are carrying a child. She sprinkles a forgetful spell and a love spell on the woman's belly. I mean, that's the only explanation for it. Being pregnant is not easy. Giving birth is not easy. After birth is not easy. Yet, I loved being pregnant. It's crazy. I also don't remember the pain, the discomfort that I have felt throughout my pregnancy. And I went through my labor without any drugs. So, why? How? It hasn't been that long for me anyway. So, the only explanation for that one is the forgetful spell that Mother Nature created for pregnant women. So, my question to you ladies who already have children, do you remember how it felt like to be pregnant? If so, tell us in the comment section. We are going to stop here for today, folks, but please come back next week for a brand new episode. And remember to leave a review of this episode on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. You can also leave a comment about your pregnancy stories because you might even hear your review and or your stories on the air. So please join us.